Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Robin Hood 2018 version. Let's get into it. Now, I originally seen the previews to this movie months ago and didn't know what to think of it. And it's starring Taron Egerton, basically Izzy from that movie Kingsman, where he made his debut. That we most people who enjoyed the Kingsman movie, and I didn't know how he was going to take him being Robin Hood. Jamie Foxx played this as Petit Jean or Jean. Then there was that's the most familiar two people that you would see on there, and Lady Marian, actress by the name of Eve Hewson. Let's get into it now. Robin Hood, has always, you heard the story, rob from the rich, give to the poor. Now, back in 1991, Robin Hood was made Prince of Thieves by Kevin Costner. Classic film. Classic. If you into Robin Hood, you ever get the chance, if you haven't seen it, watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. Classic film. That's why I didn't know how to take this remake. And Robin Hood's been remade in different variations, so I was eager to see how they go about this one. So pretty much the plot is Robin of Locksley was his family was rich, and he meets a girl that sneaks into his family's horse stable and was going to steal a horse, and she doesn't know who he is, and he pretty much embraces her. He's stunned by her beauty and pretty much tells her he's the owner of this, this is his family's, and he'd let her take the horse if she told him her name. And that's where he meets Lady Marian, and he falls in love with her, and they fall in love, and he takes his money and he gets them a house up on the hills. However, the sheriff of Nottingham drafted him to go into war. And so you already knew that was going to be a damper in this situation. So it fast forwards 4 years later. 4 years later, he's still in war. And of course, war is different during this time. They're using bow and arrows, and they're over fighting Arabians for whatever reason. They're fighting a war, and each team is getting killed. And then he does his heroic moves. However, he runs into Jamie Foxx character, and Jamie Foxx character and him start battling, and then one of his guys came and cut Jamie Foxx's hand off. Nevertheless, they end up taking over, and they capture all Jamie Foxx's men, and they had Jamie Foxx locked down. And Jamie Foxx's son was in the war too, and then he was asking Robin of Locksley, telling his men, "Hey, have compassion. This is my son." But Robin's men was killing people, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Prisoners of war are supposed to have honor, not kill them. They were just killing them. And so what they pretty much did was, in the process of great kill Jamie Foxx's son, Robin intervened. Like, because he knew that wasn't right. That's not what you're supposed to do. And so when he intervened, they looked at him as it could be treason. So they shot him with an arrow. He passed out, and they still killed Jamie Foxx's. They still killed Jamie Foxx's son, but Robin pretty much like pulled up some energy and broke loose and freed some of the people out, and Jamie Foxx got free. And then they pretty much pit Robin and said, "You lucky you're a lord, or else we would say you was doing treason." So nevertheless, he was on the ship for 3 years, three months, going back to where they from. And he was, at the time he left, and he left his house with his girl. So when he got back, as soon as he got back off the boat, meanwhile Jamie Foxx slipped in the boat, and he stayed where they put the waste, and nobody would even look for anybody down there. So he hid where they put the poop and piss and all that stuff in there, so that way they could never discover him. So that's where he hid at. Meanwhile, when Robin got back in town, he went straight to the house, only to find that his house has been tore down and beat down, and it was snatched from the sheriff of Nottingham. So that's the same sheriff that sent him off the war, took his house, and now his people, who was once a prestige family in that town, didn't even have a say in nothing. So that's fueling him. And then he goes to the priest, to like where you do confessions at, and that's somebody he grew up with. And that guy said, "We thought you was dead. Like, we had a ceremony for you. Like, who told you I was dead?" He like, "The sheriff of Nottingham pretty much read your name about 2 years ago." So he like, "Well, where Mary?" And she's Marion. Well, she lives in the mines now. So he darts to the mines because he wanted to see his old girl. And when he goes there and see the people, he sees Marion, but she's moved on because she thought he was dead. So she got a new mate or husband. And so what happens is he's frustrated. That's when Jamie Foxx's character come in, basically telling him, use your animosity, use that so that we can set the wrong right. So then he goes through all his training, and they plot and plan, and that's where you start to see the typical Robin Hood, stuff, that he's robbing the sheriff of Nottingham, all because he's taking from the poor. He's basically taking from the sheriff of Nottingham and to get back to the poor. So they also want him to come back as Robin of Locksley, and so they could trust you, so you get in good, and you can find out more what's going on. So other than that, that's the bulk of it. You know, little twists and turns of how they figure out how they're going to stop the big money going to fund the wars. What they found out, that the sheriff was in with the big high priestess, and they were paying both sides. The Arabians, they were funding the Arabians, and then they were funding their own people to war against each other. So it's kind of like the stuff that you hear about, the rumors you hear about, like going on over here, that when you dig deep enough, or you hear stories that some of the people that's crooked in the world are being funded by our country. So it's like, some things that they try to make resonant in that. So other than that, It was an okay film. It was an okay film. It kind of bombed it. I'm doing this video kind of late, so I'm doing this video late. At the time this video is going out, it kind of bombed in the box office. I don't think they promoted it as well. I still thought I'd do a review on it because I did watch it. So, it was a decent film. It was like I guess they try to make a new age Robin Hood film to get a younger generation to jump on Robin Hood. And you get to see how they take down the Sheriff of Nottingham government, how they pull in the money for the poor, stop it from funding the war, and the twist that happens that could allude to a part 2. And that's pretty much it without going word for word, play for play. Decent enough film. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 4 stars. 2 out of 4 stars. It was just a decent film. And probably because I'm basing it in my mind of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner, was just a classic. So if that could have got a 4 out of 4 stars, this definitely going to get a 2 out of 4. Other than that, share the video, subscribe and like. If you watched the film or you've seen the original, not the original, the other one with Kevin Costner, comment, let me know. Subscribe and like again. Make sure your notification button is on so when I send these reviews through, you get your notification and they come through. Till next time.